This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Right, starting now to get a look through the 2-year-old maidens in August. I'm expecting plenty of nice horses here, to be honest. So what I'm going to do before I start is I'm going to record this quick intro, and then I'm probably going to try and do short, sharp videos on every single horse that we look at rather than lobbing them all together in separate videos like I've been doing for a lot of the 2-year-olds, because really we're getting to the time now where I think that they're running out to make their mark at the top level at 2, unless they go do it in 2 more starts, maybe one in a couple of weeks and then one in maybe a Group 1 towards the end of the season. So maybe some of these might look more classic prospects and less exposed at the end of the 2-year-old campaign than some of the others that we've got. ClassicWatch24.great/site.net will be the site where the Classic Watch horses for 2024 will be. There's already a couple of Australian horses on there for the meantime. But for now, it's time really to start cracking on about these horses and getting through them as best we can. So by the miracles of science, I will be back shortly and we will be discussing a winning 2-year-old from the month of August 2023. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream. Hello everybody, and welcome back. Thank you very much for supporting the video and the channel, as always. It's very much appreciated. Right, we're going to crack on today. Today's August winner, maiden winner, has actually done exactly what we wanted it to do and has won a pattern race subsequently. So the horse is now 2 runs, 2 wins and a Group 2 winner. The horse in question is trained by Aidan O'Brien, called Diego Velazquez. Sired by Frankel, out of what could be a speedy dam by acclamation, called Sweepstake. You'll see there, if we take a look at the form, where we identified him here in August, stuck him on the maybe list. He won by 4 3/4 lengths on debut, running to a mark of 98. And then he stepped up well to Grade 2 company early in September in the Future Champions Juvenile Stakes up to a mile. And he managed to get the job done, improving only by 8 though, from 98 to 106. Here's his current form. We've got horses like City of Troy and Henry Longfellow that have ran to a lot higher than that. People take a look at Diego Velazquez, they will see that he is a family 1C on the historic site that we use, bloodlines.net. Oh no, it's pedigreequery.com. This is really. And it just gives you like a nice quick 5-digit pedigree on each page. So if you click again there, the next dam there on the second page will be the 10th dam. It's just a bit quicker to get through them. We're going to take a look at a couple of the dams now, the first 4 of the dams, and then we're going to go ahead and see what we found back in the day all related to this horse. Sweepstake, as we said, is the dam by acclamation. Winner of 3 of her 7 starts. In fact, she was only out of the first 2 once in her 7 starts for $114,162. We'll see that she actually won the listed national stakes at Sandown at 2. And she was also 3rd in the Group 3 Princess Margaret Stakes at 2. And also in America, the Group 3 Appalachian Stakes at Keeneland at 3. She's already bred a couple of nice horses very closely related to Diego Velazquez, which to me sort of indicates the sort of horse we're going to get. Maybe. Broome is the first one. Been very, very admirable for connections, finishing in the first 3 of 17 of his 37 starts and just claiming over £1 million. Cool horse initially before he was sold to the Japanese man, Mr. Matsushima, who actually, well, I don't know, he owns a few horses. He bought Japan, funnily enough, off them as well. And we've had horses owned by him running around in France as well. You'll see there, if people scroll through the form of Broom, he's got some very good form in certain patches. You see, he was Group 2 and Group 1 placed at 2. Just behind Royal Marine in the Lagardère, beating the neck. And he was also in the same race as we're going to see Diego Velazquez win. This horse was in fact second in the race in 2018. It was then really at the start of 2019 in his 3-year-old campaign, he looked to be a contender for the Derby, taking out 2 consecutive Group 3 trials. The Ballysack Stakes, I think the first one, yes, and the Derringstown Stud Derby Trial Stakes, before finishing 4th on the day of the Epsom Derby behind Anthony Van Dyke when he was quite strongly fancied, and he was then 6th in the Irish version when again quite strongly fancied behind stablemate on both occasions, Sovereign. He then tailed off a bit in 19, towards the end of 19, and 2020 was a bit of a non-event for the horse as well. Then he came back in 2021 and went through the grades quite nicely, culminating in his only Group 1 win. This horse has won a Group 1. Won a Group 1 at St. Cloud in 2021, beating Abeira by a neck in the Grand Prix de St. Cloud. He's also won countless Group 2s, you'll see there. He's won the Hardwick at Royal Ascot in 2022. It's also won at Meydan. It's won the Dubai Gold Cup in 2023. So this is a solid horse, a solid Group 2 level horse. You can see there it's also won a Group 2 at the Curragh. It won the Moorsbridge Stakes. It also won the Alleged Stakes, a Group 3. And it also won the listed Devoy Stakes of 2021 as well. So a good, solid pattern racehorse. And if that's not as much of an indicator watching Broom go around 38 times in mainly pattern races as to what sort of horse Diego Velazquez is going to be, there's one that's done very similar, or doing very similar now, the 4-year-old Point Lonsdale. Both these horses by Australia. Point Lonsdale, you'll see so far, has won 6 out of his 11 races, only placed in another 2. Again, you'll see the horses have been campaigned quite similar. If anything, Point Lonsdale was a little bit better at 2, I think. He managed to win a listed race, a Group 3 race, and he also won the EBF Futurity at the Curragh in 2021 at Group 2. He also won the Tyros Group 3 before finishing second behind Native Trail in the 2021 National Stakes. He was then 10th in the Guineas, won by Caribus in 2022. And then, rather like Broom, had a year off, a bit like Broom did, before coming back and doing similar to what Broom did this year, taking out the Group 3 Alleged Stakes, nudge, 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 wing, wing. That could be a race that this line likes, and the Alleged Stakes. And again, a race at Chester. It won the Group 2 Huxley Stakes at Chester this year. But the Racing Post is telling me that its best form this year was when it was 6th behind Auguste Rodin recently in the Irish Champion Stakes when he ran to 117. But again, very similar, you would say, to what Broom did. So maybe there is a bit of hope that we have got a Group 1 quality horse here. It's unfortunate, though, that neither of those two that people did know managed to take out classics. The second dam of the horse, Dust Flicker, was only seen on the track 3 times, born in 1999, sired by Suave Dancer. There is a couple of horses coming through quite nicely now, it's fair to say. Dust Dancer is definitely one. You know, there's a full sister to the second dam of this horse. Winner of 4 of her 11 starts, according to the Racing Post. Peak Racing Post rating of 113 when trained by John Dunlop. And she achieved that back in 1997 when she won the Group 3 pre-Landonette. She's following up there after a listed win in the Uphaven Phyllis Stakes at Salisbury, a race worth £10,000 in 1997, a listed race. You see there, that's a pattern race winner, and also Just Dancer is the second dam of a stallion that never really did it for me, Zoffany. It got to the stage where I was getting a bit nervous whenever I had a horse identified by Zoffany. Both the others have fallen short of classics as well, as did Zoffany, you'll see. By Dan Silly as well, Zoffany, the double whammy. Dan Silly, another sire that didn't really do it for me, unfortunately. They all can't be good, can they? But Dust Dancer, you'll see there, is the second dam of Zoffany, winner of the Group 1 Phoenix Stakes at 2. Similar to this, was won the Tyros race at Point Lonsdale, also won. It was also placed in the National Stakes, just like the other two, I'm going to say. Broome and Point Lonsdale certainly wasn't. At 3, it was second in the Group 1 St James's Palace Stakes. It was also second in the Prix Jean Prat and the Group 3 Ballycora Stakes. At Leopardstown, it was a good sire, just didn't really get many home for me. It's just one of them, innit? One of them stallions that just is unlucky for an individual rather than a bad stallion. It certainly was one that I used to try and avoid whenever possible. But following dam lines, you don't really have much say about the stallion, do you? But this was a good horse, a Group 1 winner at 2. And Dust Dancer, you'll see, is the second dam of that. And there's also this horse here, Bulaxi. Sadly died at 11, sired by Bustino. That horse actually won 3 pattern races and ran to a best racing post rating of 112. Dual listed winner. Won the Oh So Sharp Stakes in 1993, a race worth £8,000. Absolutely pitiful money. And 1994, it won the Lupe Stakes up to £17,000 by 4 lengths. The racing post telling us the best figures was joint. When it won the Group 3 in 1994, it won the Fred Darling. A Guinness trial there worth £20,000. Absolutely embarrassing. Back in 1994, 32 years ago. Awful prize money. And then it was also second. That's how far behind they are. Looking Italian Group 2 in Capanel. It was placed. That was its joint best figure of 112. The best horse this produced really was Bulwark. I remember it winning the Chester Cup. It was very exposed in the end, rated 111, and it did get some pattern race form at some point. But the rest, I don't really. Again, though, Claxon finished 5 out of 9 races and only rated 110. So it was a pattern race line to a certain extent, without any shadow of a doubt. That's because Galaxy Dust, the third dam, you see, Galaxy Dust was the dam of all of the horses that we've just looked at, winner of only one of her 7 starts, $5,083. And as we know, multiple black type producer. Also, we're going to take a look at this horse, Zim Zalabim. Actually, it won 2 classics as well as these. It was also won in 2 listed races in France and Italy, and it was third in the 1994 Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud. It actually won the Slovenian Derby and the Austrian Derby in its career. And that is also related to Bulaxi and Dust Dancer. People go back to Galaxy Dust Fold in 1982, like we said, 1 out of 7 times. The next dam, High Galaxy. She was seen a lot more on the track out in the States, 63 times, winning 10 of them and finishing in the first 3 in 31. We saw plenty of her in Puerto Rico where she did win a stakes race. But she was almost raced relentlessly. It's hard to say. Hard not to say any otherwise. And she was foaled in 1974, the same year as me. 49 years ago. So we've got horses like Dust Dancer and the other one rated 113, Relaxing. And we've also got the two horses going round, Broome and Point Lonsdale, quite closely related to Diego Velazquez. We went further back on the legacy site that we use as well, bloodlines.net. And we found our section down here. We've got a look at horses like Evening Tide and Avanti Girl. There's High Galaxy, the fourth dam, Zimzalbim, dual derby winner in Central Europe. There's also this one that we found, Golden Bry is on our line. She won 9 out of 28 starts, $516,000. She won the Coaching Club American Oaks of 1995. She was also placed in other Group 1 races like the Mother Goose Stakes, the Gazelle Handicap. She had a very good career. People can trace her quite easily back. Excuse me. To the same line as our horses through horses like Twisterette. Is the fourth dam of Golden Bright, and I think she's the sixth dam of Diego Velazquez. There she is. Seventh from the eighth dam there. Look. Eighth dam is Evening Tide. Ninth dam, Etoile Filante, which brings in plenty of good horses if people are willing to go back even further than the 60s to try and form an opinion on the possible ability and the ceiling of this horse. That's what people need to do, I think. Form is temporary, class is permanent. You know, people need to predict what these horses are going to do before they do it. So, other horses that we found related to it, we're going to take a look at a few here. Silvano, some good horses here. Globe-trotting German horses. Far off horses, Silvano. Foaled in 1996, winner of 7 of his 18 starts and $2.3 million. You'll see there it won the Arlington Million of 2001. It also won the Group 1 Singapore Cup, and it also won the QE2 Cup in Hong Kong of 2001. Superbly campaigned German horse, brilliant. Second also in a few races, Group 2 as well. Also the Manor War Stakes at Belmont. It was placed as well in 2001. What a season it had. Galloper of the Year in 2001. Fourth in the 1999 German Derby, and it went to stand in SFA, which I think Germans refer that as South Africa. I do think, but very good horse, Silvano. Sired by Lomitas. His half brother wasn't bad either, sired by Akatanango. Sabiango, 7 out of 19 starts, $828,000 again, a step far off. You see there, German Group 1 and Group 2 winner at 3, a German Group 1 winner at 4, and at 5 it went to America and won the Charles Whittingham Memorial Handicap, and also a Group 3 out in America as well. Very good horse. Went to stud in France in 2006 and back to Germany in 2009. People see there that with about the 6th and the 7th dam. These two are the same. A bit further back, Etoile Filante. 9th dam of these horses, 8th dam of Diego Velazquez. So you're going back less than 100 years, and there's plenty of decent horses, I feel. Take a look at a few more. Parlo, mare foaled in 1951. She ended up forming her own little line, but she was good on the track herself. Winner of 8 of her 34 starts. She won the Alabama. She won the Belle Dame Handicap, the Delaware Oaks. Back in the day before these were pattern races in America. Champion 3-year-old filly of 1954. Champion handicap mare of 1954 and 1955. Sadly died in 1978. She bred a nice horse here, look. She's the second dam of this horse. Arts and Letters, winner 11 of 23 starts. $632,000. First in the Belmont and the Travers and the Woodward. Metropolitan Handicap, Jockey Club Gold Cup. Again, you see, 1969 this is. And the pattern still really isn't coming through. The Preakness second as well. Champion 3-year-old colt and Horse of the Year. Champion Handicap Male of 1969. inducted into the American Hall of Fame in 1994. There's also this one as well, Silver Bullet Day. You'll see there that Parlow is the fourth dam of Silver Bullet Day. And that one, 15 out of 23 races. A good line. 15 of 23 races. People can easily stop when they've seen Broome and Point Lonsdale, you see, and think they've got a horse. You know, and this is just proving it that them two horses there are no fluke. Winner of 15 out of 23 starts and over $3 million. Silver Bullet Day. On the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies at Group 1 at 2. 3, it won the Kentucky Oaks, the Ashland Stakes, the Alabama, all the races that fillies need to win, really. Alabama Stakes, Gazelle Handicap, Black Eye Susan Stakes, which is the sort of fillies Preakness, even though it's a grade lower. And at 4, you see, she did sort of tail off a bit, only finishing placed in a couple of group races and winning a stakes race. Champion to a 3-year-old filly in America and another Hall of Fame inductee. This one inducted in 2009. Pass Catcher, horse foaled in 1968, won 7 out of 25 starts. But again, 19 out of 25, it was in the first 3. $268,000. We're going on a different line now, different tangent altogether. We have to go back to, I think, to the 6th and the 7th dam again. There's a 12 Philanti again, the 7th dam of ours. And the 8th dam, Evening Tide, is the 7th dam. So we're still not quite there, look, you see. Not directly on our line for these couple, but they are very nice horses. Pass Catcher, like I said, 7 out of 25 wins. Won the 1971 Belmont, Group 1. Second in the Jersey Derby, also at 2 it won. Second, a couple of times. Races like the Hopeful and the Kindergarten, I'm fairly sure they are pattern races now. Entered stud in Reddick, Florida in 1977. Grindstone is a Kentucky Derby winner of 1996. Very lightly raced horse, winning in the first 2. In 5 of his 6 starts, it won the Kentucky Derby, the Louisiana Derby, and its only defeat was in the Arkansas Derby. Entered stud in 1997 and sadly died in 2022 due to old age. You'll see there that we're going back again. I think this one's quite closely related to the one we just looked at. Yeah, Star Gala and Fair Star and Etoile Filante. A couple more we found. We're nearly at the end now. Sardula was a very good horse again. Look, not in the first, only out of the first 2 in one of her 10 starts, winning $882,000. Winner of the 1994 Kentucky Oaks. It also won the Starlet Stakes, second, and Del Mar Debutante, the Princess Stakes. Second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly, the Hollywood Oaks. Very good horse. But sadly, during the latter part of 1994, she was stricken by what eventually was diagnosed as the bone disease osteomyelitis. Sorry if I've butchered that. Sadly, she could not be saved. Again, very nice horse indeed. See that on a different line again. This is how prolific this line is. Etoile Filante is the 7th dam of this horse. It's a totally different branch of a line to the ones we've looked at before. You know, these are all independent of each other, just showing that various sections of this line have thrown Group 1 winners. You know, it's no fluke if this horse turns out to be good, but it's a Group 2 winner already, Diego Velazquez. So people could argue that it's a good horse already. But we've seen plenty of Group 1 winners scattered through the last 100 years, haven't we? Al Talak, interesting horse. Winner of 5 of 26 starts and over $1.2 million. This horse was a bit of a globetrotter as well. It won the Grand Prix de Paris, it won the McKinnon out in Australia. It also won the Melbourne Cup in Australia. Won the CF All Stakes. I keep calling that race the Colton All Stakes. Colton Orr is an ice hockey player. CF All Stakes Group 2, you see second in the Greiser Post Berlin, another race in Australia, second in the Coalfield Cup, and third in the Italian Derby, Al Talac. You'll see there that our 12 Ferlanti is the fifth dam of this horse. A very good horse. This one was from around the world for Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum. And then right really back to where it started. High Quest in 1931. Won the Preakness, 6 out of her 13 starts. Now 12 Ferlanti is actually the dam of that. So there's no disputing really that a 12 Ferlanti, if you people go back far enough to her, she has thrown some good horses since 1918. You know, very good. High Quest, winner of 6 of her 13 starts, including a Preakness, second in the Hopeful. That's a horse, sorry, not a filly. But again, very good horse back in the day. So really, we've covered quite a bit of ground on this one. 1C, if we go back to a 12 Ferlanti there, look. We've covered a fair bit of ground. Now our section is down here. Yeah, a bit too far away, these lot. I think going further back. Horses fold like Apricot in 1844. You know, even if we go back even further, a little back further to ours, Shinkara, it does give us horses that have been to stud like Awesome Again. Wow. So, yeah, that's a good line, this little section of 1C, I think. And there's a good chance, I think, that Diego Velazquez could turn out at one point. Could be when he was older than 3. Could be a Group 1 horse. Can he win a Group 1 at 2? A lot of them have fallen short. You've seen Point Lonsdale fall short. You've seen Broome fall short. Could this be one to... I don't know. You see, Zofford is in there, isn't he? You know, are they falling short? You know, is it... I like the line, I must admit. But Broome and Point Lonsdale followed both of them. Really have. But not so much Broome. Point Lonsdale, definitely. But now it's putting Zofford in there. You know, it sort of explains a lot how they're going for me. You know, hopefully Diego Velazquez can get a bit of the Frankel magic and prove to be at least the equal of Broome and Point Lonsdale. You'd think that would be the least people would expect. I suppose he's the equal of Point Lonsdale already, a Group 2 winner after 2 starts. But hopefully this one might kick on, whereas Point Lonsdale didn't. Broome did eventually, winning a Group 1 at 4. But where Classic Watch is concerned, this horse still has to be into equations until proven otherwise. It's one of the horses I feel that will take its chance in the Classic if it stays fit and the form of it is good. You know, I think they will run it in some sort of Classic, maybe more than one. Could be a Ledger horse, could be a Derby horse. Whether it's a Guineas horse or not, I don't know. I didn't think Point Lonsdale was, to be honest. I always thought these horses needed at least 10 furlongs at 3. But we'll see how Diego Velazquez goes. Before we wrap this video up, let's just watch him win, shall we? The Future Juvenile Stakes. A race that, it's fair to say, drew some scrutiny on social media.
To be followed by Deep One. White flag is raised. All are in. And thereof, they break away in the second race, the KPMG Champions Juvenile Stakes, Group 2 over a mile. And it's the stable companions Capulet and Diego Velazquez, separated by Atlantic Coast, followed in these early stages by Bremen, the striped cap. Next, Deep One, formal display on the inside of Democracy in his distinguishing blue cap. Racing to the final 6 furlongs, and it's Capulet and Diego Velazquez showing in front of Atlantic Coast. In 4th place is Bremen, being followed towards the end of the back straight by Formal Display. Alongside Formal Display is Deep One, and a gap of 2.5 to 3 lengths to the back marker, who is Democracy. Racing up to the 4 furlong point, marking the halfway stage. The order remains pretty much the same. It is Capulet and Shamie Heffernan, tracked 1.5 lengths back by Diego Velazquez and Ryan Moore. Disputing the third, Atlantic Coast, Dylan Brown McMonigan on the outside of Bremen, Gavin Ryan. And these are followed inside the 3 by Deep One and Billy Lee. Formal display, Colin Keane, and the back marker remains
What's your
Democracy
favourite in
and
second, Ricky?
Christophe
He's already having to
Sumion.
ask
They're
him
in
to
the
keep up, isn't
straight
he?
with 2 furlongs
This
to
is a
go, and
stayer,
it's
if
Capulet
anything.
stretching from
Mile
the
and a
front.
half, 10
Diego
furlongs, he might
Velazquez
even be
wound
far
up
enough
in
there.
second. Deep One makes ground on the outside of Atlantic Coast, being followed then by Bremen. Formal display, racing to the final furlong, and it's the stable companions in a duel. Diego Velazquez on the stand side nudges ahead of Capulet with a gap then to Atlantic Coast. Diego Velazquez on the stand side of Capulet, a neck between them, then Atlantic Coast, and in 4th place was Deep One. Diego Velazquez remains.
I mean, we're going to have to take a look at the very closing stages there, because the rider of the second there, don't forget both these horses owned by the same people. And the second has not even tried in the end.
Diego Velazquez on the stand side of.
He's literally sat up on it before it's gone past the post, and the first string is flat out.
The stable companions in a duel. Diego Velazquez on the stand side nudges ahead of Capulet with a gap then to Atlantic Coast. Diego Velazquez on the stand side of Capulet. And
I mean, that is Irish racing sometimes in a nutshell, and in English racing, the UK racing as well. It does go on. But these people rule Irish racing without any shadow of a doubt. The Coolmore Syndicate. And I think they wanted Diego Velazquez that day. It was clear to see as day that Capulet came there and stopped before it got to the winning line. So Capulet is all obviously on the also list as well, without any shadow of a doubt. Maybe list after that. But hopefully we'll see. But in the meantime, we're going to end this video here. Diego Velazquez, I do think he's a nice horse. Got a bit of Zoffany in there, though. And the other two, Point Lonsdale and Broome, have both failed to win classics. So let's see how this one does, shall we? I think it's going to be a classic type of classic horse. But for now, I'm going to leave the video there, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, everybody, and look after yourselves. What I will do at the end is put some sort of steer at the end of it, just to give everybody a chance to subscribe to the channel if they wish to. Even though the channel will continue, even if you don't. You know, it's not. This channel is not at all reliant on subscribers or comments, etc. It's just there to make my life easier with the horses I need to embed into my sites. But thank you very much for watching the channel. Thank you very much for subscribing. And I'll also leave a list of the 2-year-old horses content that we've done throughout 2023. But for now, take care, everybody, and have a fantastic day. Goodbye.